My name's John Jackson. I'm CIO at the London Borough of Camden. That's an organisation with 5,000 employees. It's responsible for all sorts of public services, social care, housing, the environment, parking, all sorts of services for citizens. We're a very large organisation. We're processing large volumes of information. And what we want to get from that data is, first of all, new insights about the way we do things. The more information we've got, the more up-to-date it is, the better we can direct our resources to the right things at the right time. The second thing is, because we process so much data, and because a lot of it was in silos, there's a real danger that we end up rekeying it, duplicating it, etc. So lots of inefficiencies in process. So the idea of linking the data up enables us actually to drive out a lot of savings just by not doing things manually or doing things twice. There's also, for us, putting information together in large volumes and profiling it gives us a real opportunity to spot things we wouldn't have spotted before. So we can do things earlier. We can help families who are vulnerable sooner rather than things going wrong. And that's a really important thing. Not only is it good news for the family if we can spot problems and help people earlier with the things that they're finding difficulty with in life, but it also costs us an awful lot less money to do that, because we're not having to do complex interventions with lots of different agencies. And the other thing, of course, that helps us with is citizens, really. The more we understand what our citizens do, how they use our services, we can actually then target things and spot problems. So if people, for example, aren't doing things as expected, whether it's applying for something or booking something, we can actually just use that information. Say, okay, you're doing this wrong, here's how you could do it differently and better. And the last but not least, there's something about smart cities and digital innovation. The world's changing. We're putting Wi-Fi on lampposts, we're putting chips and smart meters into houses, and all this information again transforms our service delivery model. Rather than having people go and knock on doors, we don't have to do that because information arrives. We can actually use the information about how people are consuming electricity to say, look, you can just do it different. We can lower your carbon footprint. There's some great stuff we can do that just wasn't possible before. I think the thing we're most proud about at the moment is, first of all, we've used master data management to join up our records. So we've joined up 16 different information sets, things like electoral roll, our children's system, our housing systems. But why is that so important? Well, what we're putting on top of that are dashboards. We're using in-memory analytics to help us spot problems and do things quicker and differently. And it's really transforming the business, because for the first time we're able to visualise and explore information in new ways, giving us new insights about how we do things and how we could do them better. And one of the things we spotted with these dashboards, and probably shouldn't be saying this on camera, but actually we noticed that we're issuing parking notices and control notices to cars that were in Afghanistan. And whilst I thought it was great that our contractor was going the extra mile to get the payments, actually what we had was a data problem, which we wouldn't have spotted if we hadn't started joining up the data and using analytics very differently to the way we do it today. I think there's some of the very complex problems we face lead us to share and work together. London's a classic example where residents consume our services, but so do people outside the borough. They come into the borough. In social care, it's very possible that a child might be, although there might be Camden's responsibility, they're actually placed in another borough. So unless we begin to join up how we work, the information that we have, then we'll not be able to sort of deal with these complex social and economic problems. We're working on something apart from putting services online and joining up internally and joining up with our partners. We're looking at actually something called the digital public realm. How do we make our assets smarter? And how do we use that information to drive new ways of delivering services? So putting Wi-Fi on lampposts sounds bizarre, but actually enables us to monitor when they switch on. It allows us to notify when the bulbs aren't working, and it's enabled us to save 25% on both the running costs and maintenance of those devices. For example, with smart meters in the home, as I say, we're able to spot when people are consuming electricity when they're not there, or when they're consuming more than their neighbours and tell them. And because of that, we've been able to send them information about that consumption, and they've changed the way they actually, consume electricity in the home, saving them money. So one £3 letter about their consumption habits, comparing them with their neighbours, led many of them to save up to £70 a year. So not bad.